Welcome to this week's edition of the Weightlifting Platform, where we still haven't decided on how to pronounce the country of Qatar. Or is it Qatar? And don't even get us started on Kiribati. Kiribati? The Weightlifting Platform is brought to you by the Panamerican Weightlifting Federation. I'm your host, Richard Mason. On this week's show, he's one of the most popular lifters in the world, not only because of how well he competes, and boy, he does that well, but also because of his shining attitude. We'll talk with Meso. For our tip of the week, we'll head to Moldova, where Natalia Priskepa shows us some strength building tips. And for our regular feature Good to Know, a Japanese family Olympic legacy that will continue through Tokyo. But first, here are the headlines. The final athlete list, or is it the quite final athlete list for the Tokyo Olympics, has been released by the International Weightlifting Federation. The reason I ask if it's not quite final is it is still subject to any ongoing doping control alterations. A new name might be added to that Tokyo list. Former world champion has tested positive for marijuana. Arlie Mendez of Chile had until this week to file his appeal of his temporary ban. That test is believed to have taken place in May in Colombia. At the beginning of the year, the World Anti-Doping Agency changed the way it treats recreational drugs. So now it's on the athlete to prove that it was not performance enhancing. If Mendez can prove that the use was out of competition and that the effect was not performance enhancing, the lightest possible sentence is a 1-month suspension. That means we'll see him in Tokyo. If he can't prove it, a 3-month suspension will mean he will miss Tokyo, and Canadian athlete Alex Belmar will be added to the 81-kilo start list. There are no Samoan athletes at the Tokyo Olympics in weightlifting. In a move to protect the Samoan population from the COVID-19 pandemic, Samoa has moved to withdraw all Samoan-based athletes from the Games. Athletes who compete for Samoa but reside and train elsewhere will still be able to compete, provided they go back to that other country after they're done. All the Samoan weightlifters, though, live and train on the island nation and will not be going to Tokyo. And we still don't know what the crowds will look like for weightlifters at the Tokyo International Forum. The Japanese organizers had first banned foreign ticket holders and then suggested approximately 50% capacity of Japanese ticket holders would be allowed. But that number is set to be renewed this week. Both the governor of Tokyo and the Prime Minister of Japan have said that no spectators should be one of the options discussed. And those are today's headlines. Now, good to know. Hiromi Miyake of Japan will be lifting in the 48-kilo category at the Tokyo International Forum in just a few weeks' time for the Olympics. But her weightlifting roots go back to the last time the Summer Games were held in Japan. Hiromi finished off the platform in Beijing 2008, was the silver medalist in 2012 in London, and the bronze medalist in Rio de Janeiro in 2016. But there have been Miyake family members on the Olympic platform before, including her father, Yoshiyuki, who received a bronze medal in Mexico City in 1968. And her uncle, Yoshinobu, was a 4-time Olympian, including the gold medalist in Mexico City in 1968 and 4 years earlier in Tokyo, Japan in 1964. And that is good to know. Now time to talk. When he shows up to lift, the scoreboard reads Faris Elbak of Qatar, but he's known around the world as Meso Hasuna. He's a former junior world champion, an Olympian from Rio, and he tops the absolute ranking list heading into Tokyo in the 96-kilo category. Meso, welcome to the Weightlifting Platform.
Hello, Richard. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well.
We're doing well. It's we're in the lead up to Tokyo, and we're just leaving a pandemic behind. But other than that, things are good. How about you?
All is going great. We are here in Georgia for a training camp, preparing for the Tokyo Olympics. Feeling great. Really, really excited for the Olympic Games.
Fantastic. Now, as always, our first question is always let's go back to the beginning. How did you find yourself starting out in weightlifting? How did that all begin?
All right, so it's in the family. So my dad was a weightlifter. My grandpa and my two brothers. So I just born in a weightlifting family, and I found myself, all right, I wanna do that too. Like we've been always talking about it in the family meetings while we're sitting, and that was my motivations when I always hear them like talking about numbers and PRs and all of that. So yeah, I just decided to take the same path.
Your father ever involved as a coach for you?
So my dad is my coach.
Still to this day.
So yeah, my dad is the coach, and my brother is the assistant coach. I have do two my two brothers. They do weightlifting, but yeah, one of them already retired, and the other one is assisting with us. Um, they were really good at weightlifting too. My dad competed in three Olympic Games. His best results was the fifth. I guess that was Los Angeles. Uh,
Back in
yeah,
1984. Now,
yeah.
I've talked to your dad, and apparently I did not know he was your dad. I just thought it was your coach. Um, Now, your first international meet happened back in 2016. It was the Asian Championships. Now, that's the Asian
Yeah.
Championships in the Olympic year. Now, many people, at least many people I've talked to, have said that if you want to see the best meet in the world, you need to go to see the Asian Championships in the Olympic year. That was your first international meet. Was that intimidating?
So that was my like we couldn't we were prepared before the 2016 to compete, but like we the coach decided that this is gonna be our first appear in 2016. And like we had a few obstacles to, and we had to do some totals, specific totals in the snatch and clean and jerk, so we can qualify to the Olympics. We did really well at this competition. Of course, I was probably the youngest in this competition, but competing at it, I think we did well. The clean jerk, the snatch wasn't really good at this time. We had to work on it a little bit harder, but yeah,
Because of that meet, literally months later, you're on a plane on your way to Rio as an Olympian. Now, this may have been your plan, but it's tough to imagine somebody making their first international debut and then a few months later an Olympian. Was that a surprise for you, or was this just a great plan that just all came together?
as my dad was saying, it was his plan. For me, it was a really surprise, and I was so excited that I could make it to the Olympics and compete in between all of these great athletes at the 85. It was like a dream seeing those strong athletes, and I was really young and like excited to be with them, like a bit scared, a bit excited. So I wasn't planning for it. It was a really surprise for me, but my dad, he said he was planning for it. And I think since 2014, he talked about it with our federation and with me when we started that all over from the beginning. He said like 2016, you would perform at the Olympics, you will look good. Um, but 220, that's our goal. That's what we're working for. And we want you to get the gold over there. And that's what we've been working for, I think, for the last 8 years.
Now, your first after being an Olympian, you go to your first ever Junior Worlds. So you're still
Yeah.
underage. You're going to Junior Worlds a few months later. Now, did you bring the confidence of the Olympics and the confidence of the Asian Championship into that event? Because you ended up hearing your anthem and wearing a gold medal around your neck.
Yeah, that was so my first junior was 2016. I got two bronze. Um, it wasn't our best performance, but also because it was my first World Junior Worlds. I was a little bit rushed. Some few things we didn't like work on really good, so it ends up with two bronze. Um, but I can tell you, yeah, for sure that all the competitions that came after the the Olympic Games Rio, it was so much confident because like I had a really good experience from the Olympics.
Now, tell me the story of your name, because, like I said, on the scoreboard it says Faris Elbak, Qatar, Qatar. But
Yeah.
everybody, the world around, knows you as Meso. Is that really a nickname that comes from your family? Is that the story?
So yeah, then the name Misu it comes from the family. So my father, grandfather, his name was Miso. His uncle was named Miso. My uncle, his name is Miso. I'm Miso. So we used to pass this name from generation to generations. And yeah, it means a smiley face or a happy face. So yeah, they used to choose like the brightest kid in the new generation and just name him after that. I was
Fantastic.
lucky to
Now,
have it.
well, and based on what we're seeing on the camera, I think it's appropriate. Now, you've got a significant social media presence. I swear, every time I turn on my Facebook or Instagram, I see amazing lifts coming out of you. Is that a strategy to build a fan base? Weightlifting is a pretty traditional sport, and isn't
Yeah.
necessarily the quickest to adapt new media. Do you feel that kind of this is an opportunity for you to do that?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh, sorry. Um,
Yeah.
I I was talking about social media. You seem to have
Yeah.
a really good fan base. I'm always seeing
Yeah.
you make some amazing lifts. Uh, Weightlifting's kind of traditional, so maybe a little slower to adapt to new media. Is this an
Yeah.
opportunity for you to kind of build up your fan base, your brand?
I think yes, it's a really good opportunity um with the lifts was like the some like connection with the people out there about weightlifting, trying to make it more popular and just like help as much as people that we can do, show them how weightlifting is, how it look like, and techniques and all these things. I think it's a really great opportunity.
You're from a country that is a big player when it comes to bidding and hosting international sporting events. Do individual athletes like you going to the Olympics benefit from the country's focus on sports when it comes to maybe getting your funding or getting an opportunity to train in a great lifting hall?
So right now, because weightlifting is not really popular in weightlifting is not really popular in Qatar.
Okay.
It was not really popular in Qatar, so it wasn't that we didn't have that opportunity or focus on us at the beginning. But now with qualifying to the Olympics twice, and with this time was like a better chance to get a medal. So now it's getting much better. And with all this host competition, as you just said, and big events, it's we have a lot of focus on us on the media and like from from the federations and everything. It's getting much better right now. We can tell it's improving with the time.
You were the tops of the absolute ranking list for your weight category. Was that a goal that you wanted to kind of head into the Olympics, giving everyone else a sign that you were the person to watch when it came to Tokyo 2020?
I think so. I think so. My whole focus is just to win in in the Olympics and do whatever it takes to win there. But hitting the like the top ranking, that was really good to go. Like really good thing to know.
You normally compete as a 96, but at Asians in Tashkent just a few months ago, you went in as a 102. Was that
Yeah.
just because you were not really focusing on Asians and were more concerned about cutting weight and getting to the right weight for Tokyo? Or is 102 eventually going to be what you lift at?
So actually, this is like I have a like a really like a kind of funny story. So before the age in I think like 1 month, I had an injury in my knees, and so usually because 102 is not an Olympic weight category, so like we thought it would be easier to compete at, and I was scared. I was a bit afraid to hurt my knees. So the coach said, "All right, we don't have to go to 96 and compete was like 96 we have a really great athletes in Asia like Tian Tao and Surab Muradi and really tough guys, so the coach said like we won't risk you to be competing on 96 and just hurt yourself, but otherwise we go up to 102. It's like a easier weight category. You can just like do one lift and one lift and be make it easy, and when we got there we just found out that 102 was really, really tough competition for me, but it was all good once we got there. My knees was feeling much better and I could perform well. It's not my like we still happy about it. It wasn't the best performance we did. Um, but yeah, it was the knee injury and like the situation we had. I think we like totally happy about it. But yeah, the reason we competed in 102 that we didn't want to go through a really hard battle in the 96 was a knee injury.
Okay. Good to know. Well, we're going to get you to stick around for just a few more moments. We're going to put you on the clock next. But before we go, best of luck to you in Tokyo. Hope you are healthy and able to compete at your best against the world's best on the biggest stage. Best of luck and stick
Thank
around
you.
on the clocks next.
All right.
Now, we're going to put you on a 1 minute clock. We're going to ask you questions to get to know you better. Not necessarily the weightlifter, but some of it weightlifter, some of it just about the person. Are you ready? Let's do this. In
Yeah.
three, two, one. What's the song you want to hear in your car after a workout?
All I do is rain.
DJ Khaled. Do you have any pets? Do you have a goldfish, a bird, anything?
I used to have, but because I'm traveling a lot, so I cannot have right now. It needs a lot of care.
Do you have plans already for a career after weightlifting?
What?
What are you going to do after weightlifting? Are you going to coach? Are you going to be a police
Oh,
officer?
yeah, yeah, probably coaching for sure.
Sounds good. Your favorite food?
Um, Basta.
Favorite place that you've had an opportunity to visit because of sport?
Japan.
Favorite movie?
Oh my God. Castaway. Oh my God.
Okay, and last one. I know I'm over time, but who do you want to play yourself if we made a movie about you?
Who I want?
Who plays you in the movie of your life? Pick
Oh,
the
the
actor.
movie. All right. Um. Well, Will Smith. I like him.
There you go. There you go.
We don't look the same, but yeah.
He's only 35
Yeah.
years older than you are. No problem.
Yeah, it's totally random, but yeah.
There you go. Once again, thank you for taking the time. Best of luck in Tokyo, and we're looking forward to seeing you on the platform there.
Thank you so much.
Now it's time for the tip of the week. We're heading to Moldova, where Natalia Priskepa is taking time from her training schedule to show us some of the strengthening exercises that we need for our tip of the week.
Hi guys, from the weightlifting platform by Panamerica. My name is Natalie and I'm an Olympian and weightlifting coach. Today, I'm going to give you a tip about preventative injury training. So, due to us training split gel continuously, the rear leg group becomes weakened. This can cause twisting or migration of the body while performing exercises like a snatch or squats or clean and jerk even. So twisting or migrating, yeah? The part. And same in the squats, twisting or migrating. To prevent this, it is important to strengthen weak part of the body, and for this, I'll give you some exercise. The first exercise, which I will show you, it's a variation of lunges, which I will call squat in a split position. First, take the bar on your shoulders. In a split position, squat on the back leg. Make sure you don't squat on the front leg, which will be a mistake. So, on the back leg, just in the middle. For example, if you will do 6 repetitions on a strong leg, I will suggest you to do on a weak leg 10 repetitions, which will strengthen it and will give you a balance. On the second exercise, I will be using the elastic band, which I will put around the ankles. Get into the position and we'll do 5 side steps with the weak leg. And another 5 with a strong one. And another 5 with a weak leg. Which will give you a nice balance. Both of these exercises, I will suggest 4 to 5 sets, and this will help to resolve common problems in weightlifting and help with back pain and injuries. I hope it will be useful for you. Enjoy.
Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of the Weightlifting Platform, brought to you by the Pan American Weightlifting Federation. If you like what you see, do us a favor. Bookmark us here on YouTube. You could also like the IWF on Facebook or tweet out to the IWF. It's IWFNET, IWFNet, on Twitter. I'm Richard Mason. Good lifting.